Hi, my tubies. Sheila True Love here with you today, and I love you like crazy. Yes, I'm here. I had a couple of folks asking me when am I going to make the next video. I thought I made 9 videos in one day, and that was to sustain my empaths and, you know, so that way, because I had like a busy, hectic week, so I figured I'd make like 9 videos, or how many videos, whatever. Anyway, today we're going to talk about how much I love you, and we're going to talk about the mind games that narcissists play. And I am happy to bring right here up in here in these rooms, you know how we do, he said, she said, Robert Blake, which I already I think I talked to you about him previously. Yes, he wrote like several books, and God knows I've had all of his books except for one. You know, I wish I had the listing of his books. I should have brought that. His name is Robert Blake Jr. So let's get into it. Here we go. The mind games that narcissists play.
On your mind. So I want to talk about the games that narcissists play and possibly why they play them. Number one, narcissists are the masters of confusion. If you're writing, write that somewhere. Narcissists are the masters of confusion. You can pretty much determine that you're involved in a narcissistic connection, be it romantic or friendly or whatever, or familiar or family, should I say. When you're dealing with a person on a simple subject, that when they get through talking about it or interacting with you on it, you're confused. It's kind of...
Have you ever found yourself in that position where after talking with your narcissistic partner, you were confused? I was not confused. He's an idiot, actually. But anyway, but you're trying to, how you say, resolve things, and it seems like this person is talking in circles. I've never liked people who talk in circles because I'm a straight shooter. As my how you say, subscribers know, I think that's one of the things you like about me is that I am a straight shooter. I don't talk in circles. It's annoying. Anyway, like he said, with narcissists, they do everything like to try to confuse you with all these double messages, or no, I didn't do all this gaslighting. No. With me, look, if you can't sit here and resolve things, and you can't talk to me straight, I'm not going to play this game. You want games? You go to play Monopoly, or you go wherever the hell you go to play games. I don't play games. You know what I'm saying? But let's listen up.
The spirit of Lucifer in Genesis chapter 3 in the garden, the serpent comes and he confuses the woman. The woman goes back and she confuses the man, and the whole thing falls apart. In Genesis 3 verses 1 through 5, it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die." So he's contradicting what God had already laid down as law. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Of course, here you see another of the narcissist tactic, and that is to separate you from the people that matter most, and the people that really mean you well.
I experienced that exact thing, and the reason why I talk about the narc that I talk about, I had some female talk about where the more you talk about him, the more you're feeding his ego. No, honey, the only reason why I talk about him is because that's the only narcissist that I know. Full-blown narcissist. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with wanting to get back with him or missing him or anything like that. It's the only narc I know. And when I'm trying to sit here and make these videos, I'm letting my subscribers know that I identify with you. Okay, you can't, it's not about feeding his ego. I have moved on. I've moved on. I think he knows that. But the point that he made here is that they tried to separate you from your family. Yeah, mine, he started all kind of confusion with my family. He tried to run my family over with a car. He sat up there, had my son pull out a knife. He had my brother sitting up here ready to punch his freaking lights out. He didn't raise up on my brother because he knew that my brother had a fist of a hammer. He was like looking up like this. I never saw him scared in my life. But when it came to my brother, he knew to sit your behind down, boy. Don't go there. But, you know, he'll sit up there and beat up on women or whatever. When it came to my son, he never had a chance to see what my son can do. Because he's thinking that just because my son is a Christian, that my son is going to be light on him. No. My son, I had to stop my son. I really did. You know, he keeps thinking that people are scared of him. People are not scared of him. They are afraid of what they're going to end up having to do to him. It's like when I spoke to him, he said something about this Caucasian woman who, after she smoked up all his money, she ended up calling him, "You ain't nothing but a crackhead nigger." Nigger? This is a Caucasian, and he went off on her. There we go with the violence again. The cops had to be called. Everything had to be called. And then he comes to me and tell me after that incident, she's scared of him. I don't think so. I think that maybe she's scared of what she's going to end up having to do to you. To him, better yet. You know? You sitting up there putting your hand on a Caucasian woman. Really? She knows how to turn that around. Yeah, but then again, he does deal with airheads and dumb fools. No, most people are afraid of what they're going to have to end up doing to him.
Talking her against God. So they can take an easy black or white subject, and when they're through with it, they can turn it pink, they can turn it aqua, they can turn it lime green. They cannot see the thing you have to understand, the thing that I'm coming to understand in dealing with so many people, really worldwide, you know, because narcissists can even have an impact on you from around the globe. They can have an impact on you through a simple email. This is a very subtle but dangerous person. They cannot see you as an individual with feelings. They only view you as a means to an end.
Yes.
For a lack of a better way of saying it.
Exactly.
They only see you as a means to an end. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you get on an airplane, or better example I think would be you rent a car.
I like this.
That's a better example. You rent a...
This example that Robert Blake Jr. is going to demonstrate, it really helps you to understand how a narc really sees you. This is an excellent analogy, illustration.
Car, and you rent the car to get you from Houston, Texas to New Orleans, Louisiana. You don't care about the well-being of that car. You don't care about what happens with that car when you're done using that car for what you want to use it for. All you care about is using that car to get you from point A to point B.
It's true.
And this is pretty much a depiction of the mindset of a narcissist, which I think helps us to understand why this person is so diabolical and so conflicting or conflicted, so confusing. It's because they lack the capacity to see you as an individual with feelings, so they use you, they'll drive you, they'll handle you roughly, and have no sense of how their behavior is impacting you, because you're just a means to an end. You're not a person, you're not an individual, you don't have feelings, you don't matter. You're just a means to an end.
Does that make sense to you, my empaths? Of course, they don't see you as a human being. They don't see you as someone who has feelings. They see you as someone who, I need this. Like when I met my narc, he was in some kind of program or whatever. He saw me as a means to an end. He needed to get out of that program. He needed a place to stay. He needed someone who was going to take care of him until he could find the Caucasian or whatever the hell he was looking for, until he can get that all set up. I was just a means to an end. And what Pastor Robert Blake says here, I could definitely identify with that. It's true. You know? They only see you to get them from point A to B. And just like he said, when you go to a place to rent a car, all you care about is renting that car to get you from where you at to where you want to go. And after you put that car back in, you don't give a damn about that car. You don't care what happens to that car. That's the same thing when it comes to narcissists and when it comes to how they treat people. You're not even human to them.
And this is quite often, as I've been listening to and reading certain individuals. I forget the brother's name, but he's here on YouTube.
He's talking about ASSC Direct. I think all of us know who he is. ASSC Direct. He's amazing. That's who he's talking about.
ASC or something like that. He's an African American brother, and he talks really exclusively about narcissists, and his discussions are very practical, to the point, easy to understand.
It's great.
And just listening to him and others who are really experts in this field. I am not. I've discovered that this.
I like the idea of what Robert Blake here said. He's like, he listens to other people who are experts in this field. He is not. I'm not an expert either. The only expertism that I have is that I actually experienced living with one, marrying one, being with one. That's what makes me, I think, an expert to some extent. And like they say, if you study something for like 10,000 hours, you already have like your PhD. I've studied hours and hours and hours when it comes to this narcissism because it was something new to me. I think that's one of the other reasons why I hang out with my narc as long as I did, because I am a girl who loves psychology. I like getting inside the human mind. And I never experienced anything like this, ever, with this narc. So, of course, I had to try to see what makes you do the things you do? How do you sit up there and justify this? My question is actually, how do you live with yourself when you could treat people so badly? You actually could sleep at night? For real? I've never experienced a narc in my life, not a full-blown one. I think I've had, like narcissistic traits in terms of a person, but I have never experienced a full-blown narc like the one that I just got rid of, like for really. So I was intrigued, and guess what? I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I'm so happy. I'm happy that I got to experience what a narcissist is, because it was new to me. And for a person who was intrigued by the human mind, and I got a chance to get inside this person's head to see how, really? Okay. Now that I see where you're coming from with that, I know how to categorize a person. I know how to see where people who need things that need to be destroyed, and people that you need to keep around because there's potential with them, there's hope for them. Narcissists, there is no hope. It's a mental disorder. They need to be destroyed. And if God see fit to resurrect them into heaven, paradise, wherever it goes, so be it. But a narcissist, they don't change. They can't change. That's like saying a person with schizophrenia, they can change. No, that's with them for life. They can't change. A person who has, cerebral palsy, they can't change. It's a disorder. What about people who have this other it's something that you can't change. Now, with schizophrenia, they have medication. People are bipolar, they have medication. With narcissism, there is no medication. They can't change. Going into counseling, maybe it can be managed. I don't even know. These people are like Pastor Robert Blake said. They're very diabolical, evil, evil. You want to sit here and hurt people who have done nothing but try to help you? That's evil.
Person, the narcissist, is born pretty much out of parenting. Either, in most cases, either the parent was not present, the child was separated from the parent in some way, and the child grew up starving for attention and affirmation because of the circumstances, and grew into an individual that only knows how to pursue self-interest and not be concerned with other people because he or she has had to fight for his or her interest all of his or her life. Or the child was in an environment where the parent was present, but the parent was deprived the child or emotionally abusive and did not give the child what he or she needed. And so the child struggled all of its life to, strive for affirmation, strive for attention, strive for approval. Or the child is in a situation where the parent is present, not necessarily abusive in an obvious sense, but makes too much.
The only thing I can sum my ex-narc was that he has disabilities. He had to have several operations on his leg. He always felt like an outcast. He had to try to prove himself that he was normal. He used to get into fights at school because he wanted to be included with certain things. And people did not want to include him because he had these disabilities or whatever have you, whatever. He had a mother who was an alcoholic. So he says. I can't believe any other half. But then I talked to his sister. The mom was an alcoholic. The dad was some old geezer, really old, and married the mother. The mother turned into alcohol, when you want my view, because she realized she married an old man. Some man 20 years older than you. Come on, 15, 20 years older. I would drink too. I'm still young, and you got all this erectile dysfunction going on. You are older. Excuse me, I was ready to curse here. You are 20-something years older than me, and I'm still vibrant, and you want me to settle down and become this old person like you. I'm not like that. And then the mother was a Capricorn like me. I would have drank too. I end up getting stuck with this geezer. He's already experienced certain things in life. He's already lived and done so much. Now he wants me to sit here and settle down, buckle down, and all of this. I would have been an alcoholic too. Really. So anyway, he says his mom, she got him surgery all on his legs, and she did all this stuff with surgery and all that stuff. And his dad, the mother eventually kicked him out. Couldn't deal with it. Capricorn. You know how that goes. We ain't feeling that too much. Anyway, bye-bye. But his dad supposedly came around often. Whatever. Yeah, we know how that goes. Yeah, sure. Anyway, he buy them a little candy, throw them a little freaking crumbs. Here's some crumbs of candy, and I got you $5, $2. Here you go, kid. Yeah, pat you on your head. Good kid, good kid. Yeah, whatever, kid. His father used to make him weak. His mother was the one who insisted, stop pampering him like that. Let him walk. Let him do this on his own. Let him this. The father wanted to keep giving him a way out, to keep making him weak. The mother wasn't feeling it. No. I have to teach my son, for when he gets out there in the world on his own, he's going to have to know how to make it on his own. If it was up to the father would have kept him crippled and handicapped and all twisted up like this and all messed up. The mother, the Capricorn, no, that's not going to happen. My son will be strong. My son will get out there on his butt and know how to make it happen for himself. He said his mom, she had a tongue that was, he said, she's a Capricorn like me. She had a tongue and words that would cut you, tear you down. I mean, destroy you. Her words could do that. And I know that's real. It's real. Because I personally feel that I could either make you or I could break you. You choose. You got to keep in mind, a woman is your weakness. Let's look at all these men who failed the kingdoms, and all these kingdoms and presidents, they've all gone down. What was it? A woman. How many women do you see that have gone down in history because of what some man or she laid up with some man? You don't see that much. You see women who brought many kingdoms down, sweetheart. And what these men, whatever, you better realize, I am your weakness. I can make you, or I can break you. You decide.
Over the child, spoils the child to the point that the child actually believes that the whole world is, he or she is the center of the universe. And so this child grows up believing this because the parent has gone overboard. And so now what happens is this individual grows physically, educationally possibly, maybe even in their career. But emotionally, they are arrested. Their emotional state is arrested at that young child who is still in the mindset that the world and the universe moves around me. Nothing and nobody else matters.
And that's exactly what my ex-narcissist was. He had the mind, the emotional. You know, like I told you, I was following horoscopes. He's a Taurus. I'm a Capricorn. That fits. That works. His moon is in Aries. My moon is in Leo. That works. That fits. Because the moon is your emotions. We emotionally understand what's up with each other. We get it. But the problem with him and me was our Mercury. My Mercury is in Capricorn. His Mercury is in Aries. Aries are children. They never grow up. Capricorn is the parents of all the horoscope. They're the parent. Totally mature. So when I had, this is what I was taught, you know, when I was following horoscopes, not now because I'm a Christian, so I don't particularly follow horoscopes. At the time, no, his Mercury is in Aries. My Mercury is in Capricorn, full adult, very mature. If you look at any horoscopes, Google it or whatever, Aries is the child of the zodiac. They always have a mental, they always have the child mind of a child. I can't work with that. I have to constantly be his mother, but I thought the Bible says that a man is supposed to be the head of the household. How's he going to be the head of the household when he has the mind of a 6-year-old? Really? You know, so I have to question myself in terms of why would I sit up here? Because I look at Gregory, the love of my life, his Mercury, his communication, that's Mercury, is in Aries too. But his moon was in Aquarius. So Gregory had some, he was human, at least human. He was a humanitarian. He was loving. He understood how to not hurt people. My ex-narc, his moon was in Aries. His Mercury was in Aries. Aries is like what Hitler. Hitler had all, he was in Aries, and he got, and you look at his chart, all his stuff is in Aries. They don't care. They could kill, don't give a doggone. This is when I was following the horoscopes, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is that I have to step back and question myself, why is it that I'm picking men who have their Mercury, that their mind away in childish, they're childish. I think it's because I like to be nurturing, and because it has something to do with I don't want nobody controlling me. A child can't control me. So I figured if I pick somebody who have these childish traits, you're never going to be able to control me. I don't want nobody to dominate me. I can't do that one. But then again, it doesn't work for me because, to be honest, live and learn. Live and learn. No, you need someone who you can communicate with. Communication is number one. If you can't communicate, you might as well dead this. Come on. That's where our problem lies, communication. He communicated as a child. I communicate as a full-blown, highly intellectual adult. That's where our problem lies, because emotionally, we get each other. When it comes to business and keeping the house together and knowing how to work things to a certain degree, we get each other. But when it comes to the communication part, no, he was too childish for me. Too childish. That's why it didn't work.
I have to fight for my self-interest. And the Bible even says in Hebrews 5 and 12, speaking of spiritual things, or he says, for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles. When you should be at a certain place of development, you're still in need of basic primary instruction. And that's pretty much the emotional picture of a narcissist. Mm-hmm. This may be a grown individual, maybe have a successful career or not, but emotionally is just like a little child.
Yes.
That has no concept of other people's needs or feelings, only understands what I need, what I want, and you have it.
Thank you.
Now let's jump right in, lest I be too long. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 things I want to share with you relative to what I've discovered. Of course, those who are professional can possibly add more or, subtract from what I'm laying out. But these have been my experiences relative to the gymnastics that the narcissist, the games that the narcissist, the emotional, the psychological, the mental games that the narcissist plays on his victim. Number one, they will declare their love for you. I mean, they will declare their love for you profusely, but they will never follow it up with action.
And he is so right on that. He says he's not an expert, but he's an expert when it comes to that. Like my ex-narc, he used to say, I love you, I do love you. He used to say it in front of my family. He used to say it in front of friends. I really do love her. I do. I know that I'm having a poor way of showing it. I have a poor way of showing it, but I do love her. Stop having a poor way of showing it then. You love somebody, love is an action word. You love me, you show me by the way you provide for me. That's number one, because I asked you to provide. I asked you to take the spiritual lead and to be loyal. 3 things. I don't think I was asking for too much. What do you think? Don't give me that garbage about when you got a job. So what does that mean? So because I have a job, you're no longer a man? No, you're the primary breadwinner. The elders talked to him about that. My brother talked to him about that. My brother explained to him how he treated his wife. His wife was making bunko money. At the same time, my brother still took the financial lead. I have people up in this place, and I put emphasis, check this out. People say, well, you're all about money. No, it's not about money, sweetheart. It's not that. The only reason why I keep putting emphasis on providing, because show me where a man spends his money, and I'll show you what's important to him. Show me where a man spends his money, and I'll show you what he values. That's why I keep bringing up that money part. It's the principle of it. You bring some woman to these men like Beyonce, whatever, Rihanna, or what you see on the media. These people will spend their last dollar on someone like that. How dare you sit there and say, I'm not worth that because I don't look like her, or I don't, whatever. Really? I could possibly be the better woman, though. But you want to spend a fortune on her because she looks a certain way. Or she's willing to make a pig out of herself. And I'm not. No. But I'm a hard worker. I'm loyal. I have integrity. And when he had those surgeries, let me tell you about the surgery this clown had. He had surgery on his butt, pus coming all out. Nobody was there to take care of him. Nobody. He was outside crying, talking about, I don't have nobody. But I don't have nobody. Oh, someone liked my YouTube. Okay. I don't have nobody. Who took care of him? I did. And when I was at work, I made sure there was a nurse to come over there to make sure everything was on part, up to point. Okay? When he sat up there and had his gallbladder operation, who was there taking care of him? Nurturing him, making sure he was okay, changing gulls and all this other crazy nonsense. When he had his prostate, this is huge, huge. He had prostate cancer. He would have never knew he had cancer if he would have never met me, if Jehovah God, Jesus Christ, wouldn't have brought me into his life. He would have died of prostate cancer like his, Snook. Sitting up in some place where everybody's using Snook to eat up his food, spend his money. This is the only reason why they came around. While he was wasting away. How did Snook die? sit up in a house all by himself. They found him dead and alone in a house. But because of me, Jehovah using me to be in this character's life, he found out he had radiation. I mean, he had cancer, because I insist that he go to doctor's appointments. I made him go to doctor's appointments. Okay? He would have never found out about no prostate cancer. So, they find out he has prostate cancer. What happens? They give him radiation on the prostate for like what? 4, 8, 9, or 12 weeks. He would have never had that. I was there when his bowels locked on him. He couldn't go to the bathroom. He couldn't defecate. He was in the bathroom in panic mode, crying. I can't defecate. I can't go to the bathroom. Really? Guess what? I had to call the ambulance. I took a day off work. Couldn't afford to take a day off work, even though I do have time, whatever. Point is, I needed to be to work. And I could have just said, you know what? I don't know what to tell you, son. You're on your own. I don't know what to tell you, but I got to go. But no, I stood there, had the ambulance come over. He's in panic mode. Did all of this stuff, man. Then we get to the hospital. They get him enemas. He's in the hospital room, defecating all over the place, which has smelled up the whole freaking hospital. I'm still right there loving you, supporting you, right there for you. And you could sit there and treat me the way that you've treated me? Really? Yeah, that's okay, because God don't like ugly, like I said. You ain't going to make no mockery out of God. What you reap, what you put out there, you're going to get it back. None of these tricks that he's been dealing with. Let him not have a job. Let him not have a car. Let him go through all these health issues that he went through. Where would they be at? You know where they would be at, and so do I. They would be nowhere to be found. They would be sitting up there calling him nothing but a crackhead nigger.
They will declare their love for you. You are the most important person in the world. I love you with all of my heart. And it will just be empty words that will never be backed up by action. And this great declaration of love is calculated. The thing you have to understand is that they don't really love you. That's right. They love the way you make them look, having you in their life, or they love the way you make them feel.
Which is very true. He loved the way I made him look. He's a part of a family now where everyone is highly educated. Everyone in this family is, high functioning. Everyone in the family, we dress great when we go out. We keep ourselves together. He loved the way he looked when he was with us, opposed to the people that he's with now. How does he look being with these people that he's with now? I think he feels that being with somebody Caucasian makes him feel like he's a somebody. Yeah, he's somebody's fool. He's somebody's fool. Okay? Now, when he was with me and my family, people kind of gave him respect. They was like, wow, man, for, him to be associated with a family like that and people like that, he must have it somewhat going on. Something must be right about this character. We made him look good. Opposed to the scrawny little crackhead, dysfunctional, non-educated, don't know how to hold a freaking decent conversation. My family and I, we work with that. We work, brother. The brothers in the Kingdom Hall, we work. He was built up. When he was with us, he was doing nothing but going up. He's out there now. Where's he going? Down. The way I made him feel like he was a somebody. And that's not trying to be, arrogant. Because Jehovah God don't like arrogance. He loves people who are humble. But when he was with me and my family, the elite class, it made him look like he was elite. So what Pastor Robert Blake is saying here, he's right. It's true.
You fulfill something that they need. You make them look like they want to look. in society.
Yeah.
You make them feel the way they want to feel. This is why you find many men that go overboard in terms of the sex thing, just using women for sex. Just, there's just no limit to it. And you have to ask yourself, what makes a man pursue so many women and never really understand that this is destructive to society, and this is a path that a treadmill that wears you out, but it makes you make no progress. It's that
I don't. What is he saying? Because
when I look at it from a male perspective,
okay,
it's that this man is lacking in his self-esteem, lacking in his self-identity quite often, and he utilizes the affection and the attention of women to feed an empty self-esteem. It's the ego run amok.
I don't understand how you could have an ego run amok, or you could feel so fulfilled when you paying prostitutes. They're not with you for you. They're with you because you're paying me. Really? I gotta pay somebody to touch me? How is that going to build my self-esteem? Really? The only females that you have that wants to deal with your behind is people who are drugged out of their mind. I gotta be drugged out of my freaking gall in order to let something like you touch me. How does that help their self-esteem? I don't understand that. Maybe somebody can leave some comments down below. Really? The only thing I can get are women who are strung out on heroin, crack, crystal meth, weed, drinking like she's a freaking fish into oblivion. She has to sit up here and put on porno because she knows that her body ain't fit. You ain't gonna be getting off on her. You got to put porno on, especially in the beginning of you just meeting this person. Really? My self-esteem will be in the freaking gutter anytime I have to pay somebody to touch me. So when it comes to them running through different women or whatever, or you dealing with women who have mental issues, how does that make you feel good about yourself? Shouldn't you feel more of a loser? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, when my narc was with me, that was his ego boost. Believe that. He wasn't using drugs when I met him, okay? And when I met him, I was following horoscopes. It wasn't him, because if he would have said anything about being an Aries, he would have never, ever, ever, ever been a part of my family, or even nowhere near me. So it wasn't him that got me, it was the horoscope that got me. No. Why don't you find a woman who's going to take you for who you are? She loves your character. She loves the way you think. She loves the way you are as a person. Let's see that one. Pull that one off.
Will declare their love for you and never follow it up with action. Let me say this to you. Never judge a person based on their words.
Or their horoscope.
Words are very deceptive, yes, because words can be spoken and words can make you feel a certain way. And your feelings can get you to buy in before there's action to confirm the words. The narcissist is full of words,
yeah, and
they will declare their love for you, never backing it up with action. The Bible says in 1 John 3:16 through 18, hereby perceive we the love of God, which is a genuine and pure love, because he laid down his life. He laid down his life for us.
And that's what happens when a man genuinely loves you. He makes a sacrifice. That's what love is, making sacrifices. What made me think that my narc loved me? Let me think. What made me feel that way? Because in the beginning, he would cater to me. He would cater. He would, whatever I request, he would do it. Well, he was willing to go to Christian meetings. He was putting in when it comes to doing everything to try to please me. And you know what else, really? made me think he loved me because I like to cook. You know what I'm saying? I like to cook. And when I used to serve him food, I used to put a lot of food on his plate because he's a man. I have 5 brothers, and I know how men eat. Men eat a lot. And I remember, I'll never forget, he used to be almost crying. He used to almost be crying because he didn't want to eat anymore. You know, I think because he wanted to eat so little. And I was like, really? That's like how a bird eats, dude. I think maybe you should finish up the food because food... You don't like my cooking? He used to eat and eat and he used to eat and he used to... And you had to see his little face. He used to... And he did all of that to please me. And I, you know, and he didn't really want to go through all that eating crap, man, because... But so what? When I met him, he was a little thing. When I was done with him, he had gained 20 pounds. I gave him snacks at night. I fed him breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. And he was just, that was so funny. And then he also danced, like when I went to go out dancing or whatever, we go out dancing. I'd be on the dance floor because the song sounds so amazing, and I got to get out there. He wasn't really, he was kind of shy or whatever the hell, but he would still put himself out there and put out there dancing, and we would be dancing. And then I used to want him to dance, you know, to show me that he appreciated something that I did. Can you please dance for me? Because I like a sexy man dancing. He didn't want to do it, but he got there and he did the dancing and everything. He was kind of cute, too. It was totally cute because he was not with it. He was so funny. We had good times, man. There were some good times, but unfortunately, it was like 80% rotten and 20% of something that was cute, you know? I'm sure you could relate to what I'm going with this. But those are some good memories, you know, how he used to eat the way he did, dance when I needed some entertainment. Look at me in the car when I say certain things. He had this strange look on his face, the way he used to look at me with his face. Yeah, yeah, he was cute. He had his moments, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, when you have like 20% that's only decent and 80% that suck, come on now. You do the math.
And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him? God proved his love by his action. The narcissist many times is so skilled at communicating love with words that we buy in before action follows to confirm the words.
Yeah, it's true, you know. You look at the words, but he had some actions too. He did. I got to give credit where credit was due. And another thing he used to do, I'm going to do a part 2 on this because it's already 43 minutes. This is way too much. I like my videos to be like 7 minutes. This is a lot. We're going to do a part 2, really. But he used to, when we go out, I like to play table topics. Table topics is where you have, you know, you put this thing on the middle of the table wherever you go out to dinner, and it's questions. And I knew he was going out of his way for me because, you know, when I used to say, we're going to, hopefully we could do table topics, I was hoping you could play this with me, you know. Table topics means you have to think. You have to use your brain. He didn't like using his brain. And it wasn't even hard questions. These were fun questions like, what would you like to, if you hit the lottery, what would you do with the money that you got? It's questions like that. But it means that you have to stop and use your brain. He didn't really want to do that. And that's what I insisted that he do. You're going to have to use your brain here, sweetie, because I can't do dummy thing. I can't do dummy. Okay? And then we have this other game where I like to play some games where you have to use your brain. And he did those things even though you could see he really wanted to protest, but he did that to cater to me. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciated it because I need mental stimulation. I've got to have that. Anyway, part 2. You always have a choice. And I need to tell you this. I am so thankful for all of your phone calls. And you can continue to contact me. It's absolutely free. But guess what? For those people who keep demanding that they want to give back in return, I want to let you know that I have put a donation icon link on my channel. So you are welcome to donate whatever you would like to donate to this channel. Just go on my homepage. You know, on the homepage, you click on it and there's a PayPal icon. You don't have to do that. It's completely free. But you have a lot of people who they insist, because I'm like that. You know, when somebody's doing something for me, I just feel like I want to contribute. I just want to give back. I already put down in all of my, if you look at my, where I leave my phone number and everything, I say this is free. Because I figure, you know, after going through all the trials and tribulations that a narc has put you through, the last thing you need is somebody charging you. But then I'd be on the phone taking these phone calls and they'd be like, I want to pay you. I'm willing to pay you. I want to pay you. You want to pay me. So if you demand or insist that you want to pay me, you just go on my homepage. There is the PayPal icon right there. You click on it and you can make the arrangement, and so be it. It's up to you, darling. Okay? Anyway, you always have a choice. Know this. And I love you, and I'm going to do a part 2. Until next time, bye for now. Oh, hold on, babes.